So yesterday I was work and I was on my phone on my break. That's when I go on my phone. Stay working, kids. I came across the news that my favorite band, Dance Gavin Dance, have put out a new version of an album. Now, if you don't know who Dance Gavin Dance is, they are these guys. That is a song called Flossie, DICKEY, Bounce, and the rest of it sounds like this.
Oh, wow. You're looking down, you need a champagne shower now.
I'm sure you can tell from the instrumentals that they either go really hard or they're just, getting with it with the instrumentals. Like, they're a band, they go crazy with the instrumentals, they don't hold back, and I love them, and they're my favorite band. The screamer's clean, the singer's clean, besides the point. But they've been recently putting out instrumental versions of their albums, starting from their most recent album, Artificial Selection, and then going backwards. They put out Mothership, Instant Gratification, and so it was inevitable that they were putting out the instrumental for their album Acceptance Speech. Acceptance Speech is the album that got me into them. The song Acceptance Speech and the song The Jiggler, my two favorite songs on that album, they got me really into them because before then I wasn't brave enough. Because if you look at their earlier albums, oh boy. Anyways, Acceptance Speech is a decent album. The problem is the production. The lead singer's voice is not very clean. It's very altered. It's very produced. It's very heavily produced. Not to say the singer's a bad singer. He's an awesome singer. It's just the problem is that that particular album does not showcase that as well as it could. So when I go on Facebook and I see that they say, hey, we have an instrumental album and we have a remaster of this album, I am thrilled because that album needs some cleaning up. I've been wary of remasters and reissues since Pierce the Veil's Selfish Machine reissue because, yeah, they had this cleaner sound and Collide with the Sky, but then they tried to bring that over to Selfish Machines and it didn't work, at least not for me. A big reason why Selfish Machines was a good album was because of the production. It was very tenor based, it was very harmony based, it was basically an orchestra of everything just sort of equally being in the foreground. And then with the reissue, they tried to make it more metal. They tried to bring out the lead singer's voice more and take away a lot of the harmonies, and it just didn't work. It just kind of tore down what made the songs good. I love this version of Acceptance Speech because, like, the producer is a genius, whoever went back and went over this, okay? Because, I mean, you go from this to this. And it fits in with the rest of their set list. Now, I'm very excited for this album because actually I like the album, but the bad production kind of took away my motivation to listen to it among the rest of their set list because the rest of their set list is really crisp. And I say that in the most flattering way possible. They have a really crisp sound in Mothership and Artificial Intelligence, and there's nowhere in Acceptance Speech but 2.0. Acceptance Speech 2.0, they get crisp. I mean, just listen to Doom and Gloom. That is a song that needed some cleaning up. I was fully aware of how bad the production was of that one. Listen. And then here's the 2.0 version. I don't know if you can hear it, but I can hear it very well. They brought out the drums more. They brought out the instrumentals in a way where you can actually comprehend what's going on, because they used to just sort of muffle in the background for this album, but they're actually like separating from each other in 2.0, and I very much appreciate that. What else I appreciate is that whoever produced this album is fully aware of what made these songs good. The heavy production of Acceptance Speech also put in a lot of reverb. You know, they like muffled his voice, and they like cleaned it up, and they put in a lot of reverb. So you got the screamer who is doing his clean screaming. I'm sick of twisting the knobs, your little baby's just. And then you got the singer who's just sort of echoing his way through the song. I don't like it. But then again, there are some songs that are very echoey songs, and so they sort of ride on that fact, like Honey Revenge. Like Honey Revenge is a very echoey song, and I feel like the producers didn't really touch it that much because they were aware of that, and I think that's awesome. That's the difference between this 2.0 and Pierce the Veil's reissue, is because with Pierce the Veil's reissue, the producers were not aware of what were making these songs good, and they were doing their own thing with it, and it kind of tore down what made the song good. But Acceptance Speech 2.0, you have a song like Carve that isn't supposed to be an echoey song, and it's supposed to be just heavy, and they clean it up, and they make it sound crisp, and they make it sound straightforward, just a heavy song. And then you have Honey Revenge, which is a very echoey song, and they're totally cool with keeping it echoey, and they leave it there like that. Now I am finally motivated to listen to that album again alongside the rest of the set list, because it's always just kind of been this damper. Not the quality of the music, just the quality of production. Like, I go from crisp Chucky versus the Giant Tortoise
Ask me some poison, let me take a hit. I'm just embarrassed and comfortably
to freaking Doom and Gloom. They just don't add up. But now so many possibilities. And they got the instrumental out, which I'm always happy about. Dance Gavin Dance is my favorite band. If you haven't checked them out, you totally should. Like I said, stay away from their earlier stuff unless you're brave enough. But their newer stuff, like Mothership, is my favorite album. It's their most cohesive. It's their most solid. I think you should listen to Mothership. Will Swan, the lead guitarist, is my favorite guitarist. I think he's the best out of this generation, because like he does all these crazy riffs and he's just doing them as background. It's a good band. You should listen to Dance Gavin Dance. If you haven't, I would suggest listening to them.